I'm Edie Lush, and I'm here at the Hub Culture Pavilion in Davos. Absolutely delighted to be joined by Rabbi David Rosen from AJC, American Jewish Committee. Thank you so much for joining me. Media is replete with atrocities committed in the name of religion. So is religion the problem?
Well, it certainly can be. It also can be the solution. Just as family life is, if you like, prostituted, perverted by the mafia, so religion can be perverted by people who are either alienated, hostile, marginalized in different ways. And instead of avoiding religion because it's often abused, the real challenge for us is how to be able to engage it in a constructive way that it is a source of peace as it should be.
So how do you do that?
Well, in addition to be able to protect societies against the baddies, we've got to reach out to the goodies, because the vast majority of people are good. And of course, there was these atrocities in Paris, and there were individuals who perpetrated it in the name of Islam. But the guy who basically jeopardized his life to save the Jews in that area was a Muslim. And then all the people come together. There are Muslims, Christians and Jews walking the street together with people of no belief to show that solidarity. So if we don't want extremists to capture the imagination of the world and therefore to be dominant, we have to empower the moderates. We have to work harder for their voices to be heard, and we have to build these interfaith relationships, which is what my work is all about, in order to be able to give people that sense that they are respected and welcomed.
So how do you put respect and welcome on the one hand and freedom of speech in the other?
That's a million-dollar question, and it's not easy, but it's possible. You can criticize in a way that is not intentionally derogatory. And if something is intentionally derogatory, then it can border on the libelous. There are various laws to be able to protect people against that society. But what's really important is to be able to give people that sense that if they are being criticized, or even if they're being lampooned, it does not mean that they have no place or legitimate voice that is not heard within a society. And therefore, welcome is really critical. Respect is really of the utmost importance. We have to both protect ourselves and to respect the other.
Do you think we're getting it right?
Well, I think that's a big question with regards to the whole of human history, and for every 2 steps forward, there's 1 step back. But you know, if you look, for example, at Philip and Axelrod's Encyclopedia of Wars, there were something like, I think, 1,760 wars that they document, and only 123 of those are actually in the name of religion, specifically. And probably there has been now less war in the name of religion than ever before. Of course, there are other authors like Steven Pinker say generally there's less war than ever before. I think I think it's clear that there's never been more interfaith cooperation and communication than there is today. But by definition, you as a media person will understand what sells newspapers and what's going to give rating to TV shows is not going to be all the positive activities of communication and cooperation and collaboration. What's going to hit the headlines is going to be the negative sensationalist. And therefore, we get the impression that the abuse of religion is proportionately much more significant than it is. I don't want to minimize those abuses. We've got to deal with them. But the big picture is a much, much rosier one than you will get from impression from simply reading the newspapers.
David, thank you so much for stopping by the Hub Culture Pavilion here in Davos, and I'm Edie Lush.